Zone. It's the FIFA Club World Cup, June 14th through July 13th. The American team represented is from Miami, and it features a player named Leo Messi. Okay, yeah. Watch all 63 beginning on June 14th. So Chris will pretend to be Ziad Al-Maouf. And now joining us, Saudi Arabia's happiest man, Zizou, Ziad Al-Maouf. And what do you think about this rigmarole?
I am very excited. I am Superman. I am the greatest boxer in Saudi Arabian history, which he might be, actually. So I think this is awesome. Can't wait to fight here again.
Without further ado, let's send it to the Master of Ceremonies for today's grand arrivals, Thomas Triber.
I could do a better impression of Zizou.
I don't know what you're talking about, but sure.
Oh, back.
Okay. So when am I saying that? Okay. Hey, here's what's coming up this week live from Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. The Wednesday media workout begins at 9 p.m. local time. Thursday, it's the press conference. And then Friday, of course, the weigh-in. That'll begin at 2 p.m. Eastern, right before the big fight card in Times Square. And then Saturday night, it's fight night. Buy it now on DAZN. And look who's here. It is. Oh, then you're going to throw that up. Watch them both. This will air at what time? What time is this card going to end? New York time.
Around 10 o'clock.
So we'll be up at like 3 in the morning watching. We'll be staying up late here in Saudi watching that card. And late the next night as well, as Canelo is expected to make the walk for his main event at approximately 6 a.m. local time. And here he is now. So how appropriate. Canelo, you're wearing pajamas.
See, I'm wearing pajamas. It's very hot here in Riyadh, but it's a pleasure to be here because His Excellency Turki Al-Sheikh wants me to fight here, and I'm fighting here for my Mexican people, introducing the Saudi fans into the Mexican spirit.
Close to what he might say.
I can do Zizou if you want to.
Nope.
Josh Taylor versus Usman. Esuman. What do you know his first name? What is it? Echo. May 24th, Josh Taylor makes his Queensberry debut, moving to welterweight to face Echo Usman in Glasgow. Then we're on an anti-podium adventure. What's that mean? Too big of a word for me, pal. Then we're on a trip around the globe as IBF Cruiserweight Champion Jaya Opetaia defends his title in front of the Gold Coast on June 8th in Australia. Part of 185 fight nights each year live on DAZN. And that's June 7th. Usyk Dubois. July 19th. How'd I get that one so wrong? July 19th. So Riakporhe will be the first guy that walks, but we won't see his opponent, correct? My daughter's getting braces put on today.
My kids are going to get braces when they're 12 next year for my son.
Let's see if she answers.
fighters are ready. The fighters are ready. The boxing world is ready.
The fight starts now.
Let's go.
How do you like it? Close the show.
So aggressive, so focused.
It all comes down to this. Grand Arrivals, live on DAZN.
Welcome to Saudi Arabia. It's the final event of Riyadh season in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. Canelo Alvarez in the main event. Did you know he's never fought outside North America? He has come to the Middle East to defend his world titles and become undisputed yet again, and he faces William Scull. The Grand Arrivals, live on DAZN, next.
Live on DAZN Worldwide, Saturday, May 3rd, 7 p.m. Eastern, Canelo versus Scull. The King stakes his legacy once more for the undisputed crown. Standing in his way is Warrior Scull, undefeated and poised to decimate the division. On a knockout weekend of boxing. Get Canelo versus Scull, Saturday, May 3rd. Live exclusively on DAZN. Buy now at DAZN.com.
How about that for a shot? Welcome to Global Theater, part of the incredible Boulevard City area in Riyadh, Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. And we've got an amazing week of boxing ahead of us, and you can follow it all live on DAZN. Hello, everybody. Out of focus and into focus. My name is Todd Grisham. It is 95 degrees, and the only two yahoos wearing jackets are Sergio Mora and Chris Mannix. How do you feel right now, Sergio?
I feel great. I actually called him about my wardrobe. I don't know why. He told me I'm wearing jackets.
It's the only time I'm okay feeling a little underdressed next to you two guys. But what a week of fighting it is, ladies and gentlemen. The boxing world is on fire right now. We just had an incredible match between Conor Benn and Chris Eubank Jr. And then this week on Friday, the big Times Square event, which features Ryan Garcia, Devin Haney, Teofimo Lopez. And then the face of boxing on Saturday right here in Saudi Arabia, Canelo Alvarez back in action. Has there ever been a better time to be a boxing fan right now, Chris?
I think you got a lot of great fights, and you had a great one this past weekend with Chris Eubank and Conor Benn, which lived up to already lofty expectations. And very rarely do you have two excellent fight cards back-to-back. Friday in the heart of New York City with the return of Ryan Garcia in a Rolly Romero fight that I don't think can miss. That is a knockout waiting to happen. Devin Haney, Jose Ramirez, a lot of intrigue there. And Teofimo Lopez and Arnold Barboza Jr. in a 140-pound title fight that doubles as a blood feud. Then 24 hours later, you're back overseas here in Saudi Arabia for Canelo Alvarez, trying to become a two-time undisputed champion against an unknown champion in William Scull. So I think there's a lot to like about boxing these days.
I agree. Look, as a boxing fan, we want the best fighting the best, but all over the world, it's a global sport. It's an international sport. And when you have the face of boxing in Canelo Alvarez, he's bringing Cinco de Mayo, the spirit, here to Riyadh. All over the world, that's how you do it Mexican style. So I'm glad, man. The best fighting the best. Boxing on Friday, boxing on Saturday, boxing's winning.
Are you going to make us tacos this weekend so we celebrate with you?
Enchiladas, amigo.
All right, enchiladas. Now let's bring the fourth member of our broadcast team. I know she likes enchiladas. There she is. It's Claudia Trejos. How you doing, Claudia?
Very well, Todd. Gentlemen, well, I'm going to sign myself up for enchiladas and tacos and chilaquiles. Why not? Why not? Because we started the celebration with, obviously, the Grand Arrivals, and we know Canelo it knows exactly what to expect when he's walking the red carpet, which, by the way, this time is a purple carpet, and it's gorgeous. But we also have new faces. Marco Verde is making his first Grand Arrival after winning the silver medal back in France, in Paris 2024. So this is a first time for him. I'm really excited for him. I'm really expecting grand things of this night. And, of course, closing this whole week with a fantastic evening of boxing. And like Sergio said, there is no better time for a boxing fan than this time.
All right, Claudia, we'll get back with you in just a minute. She'll be interviewing all the fighters, and it's good for us that she speaks Spanish as well. Several Mexicans on this fight card. As you can imagine, there are 8 total fights, an ever-expanding fight card. Every day we find out there's a new fight. Richard Riakporhe in action. He'll kick things off in a heavyweight battle. Then it's Muhammad Alakel, the undefeated fighter from the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Marco Verde, the Olympian medalist from Mexico, as Claudia just mentioned. Brian Leon, a Cuban who's 6-0 with 6 knockouts. He'll be facing Aaron Rocha Guerrero. And then the main part of our card. How about these 4 fights? All of them should be good. Martin Bakole, a full camp this time. He's ready to rock and roll against F.A. Ajagba. That's going to be a slugfest. And then Jaime Munguia seeking revenge. He wanted this rematch immediately against Bruno Surace, the man who pulled off the upset of 2024. Then our co-main event for the WBC World Cruiserweight Championship. Badou Jack is back for the first time in over 2 years, taking on Noel Mikaelian. And then in our main event, Canelo Alvarez fighting in Saudi Arabia and outside of North America for the first ever time will be defending his belts, and William Scull will be putting his IBF title on the line. It's undisputed Saturday night. All right, let's talk about that main event briefly. Canelo Alvarez taking on William Scull. We've seen the odds. It's not supposed to be a close contest, Sergio, but you do see there is a path to victory for the Cuban. How does he do it?
Well, look, he has a hybrid of a Cuban style. I mean, he fought in Argentina, so he picked up a little of the Argentinian power punching as well. Even though his knockout ratio doesn't include it, he does have a big right hand, and he throws it from an angle. He's not going to stand in front of Canelo Alvarez, and he has a long right hand. Canelo's not knocking out anyone these days. Most of his fights are going to the decision, so expect this one to go into the second half. And if it does, the longer it goes, William Scull will have some good things to do.
Well, I think William Scull's anonymity may work in his favor going into this fight. The Vladimir Shishkin fight was seen worldwide at his own, but after that, you got to dig deep into the archives to find a lot of footage of William Scull. He is a longtime amateur out of Cuba. He is 23-0 as a professional, so there is a talent inside William Scull. If I was going to make a suggestion, though, I would tell Scull that he has to overwhelm Canelo with punches. One thing about Canelo version 2.0 is that he is not a volume puncher. He is a much more judicious puncher as he's gotten to this stage of his career. High accuracy, below output. I think William Scull's best chance is to throw a lot of punches against Canelo Alvarez, try to beat him at the output game, and see if that can win him some rounds on the judges' scorecards. William Scull does not have a high knockout ratio. He does not have, what I've seen yet, super middleweight power. He's not going to knock out Canelo Alvarez, but can he out-volume him? Can he throw a lot of punches, try to steal some rounds? I think that's his best chance to win.
Do you agree with that, Sergio? Outwork Canelo Alvarez, that's the path to victory?
Of course I don't. Look, you're not going to outwork them. This is a Cuban style. Cuban, they're marksmen. They rely on the jab, on point system. Scull is going to rely on that right hand. He's not going to go to the body. Plus, he doesn't have great technique. He leaves his chin up in the air when he's punching. That's going to be food for Canelo Alvarez. So I think the way to him is to fight him like another Cuban that had success against Canelo, Erislandy Lara. You pick your spots, you move around the ring, use that Cuban style, and then surprise him with that power that a lot of people think you don't have. You catch him with that right hand, you might have success.
But that, to me, Sergio, that is comparing apples to oranges. Erislandy Lara, that fight was 12 years ago, and a very different version of Canelo Alvarez. He was a 154-pounder that did not know how to do the things in the ring that he knows how to do right now. Look, if William Scull is going to throw some right hands, great. But all of the fighters outside of Dmitry Bivol and Gennady Golovkin did not throw right hands against Canelo Alvarez. You talk a big game about throwing rights against Canelo until you get in the ring and realize what's coming back. So, look, I don't know if throwing a lot of punches is going to get William Scull to win. I just know that some of the other ways you're talking about are definitely not going to get him there.
Well, you said Skull's not going to get a knockout. What about Canelo Alvarez? He's knocked down his last 5 opponents, but doesn't have a knockout since he beat Caleb Plant. So a lot of people would love a Cinco de Mayo present of a Canelo knockout here in the desert. We'll find out if he can get it. Before we start our grand arrivals, let's get you up to date on a massive event this summer. It's the FIFA Club World Cup live on DAZN.
Greatness comes to DAZN this summer. The world's best players will be summoned together to decide the greatest club on earth.
Vinicius, great chance to score.
Goats will battle Wonder Kids. Fire will meet ice. From Boca to Bayern, PSG to Palmeiras, 32 clubs from across the globe will compete to be crowned
Rodrigo, what a strike that was.
world champion. And this summer, Haaland won't be watching from home, but you can, on DAZN. In every country in the world. FIFA Club World Cup. Watch on DAZN from the 14th of June.
Cannot wait for it. DAZN, the official global broadcaster for the 2025 FIFA Club World Cup. 32 of the top teams in the world, Europe, Asia, the Americas, Africa, Oceania, will all compete for the coveted Club World Championship title. Watch all 63 live matches on DAZN, and it kicks off on June the 14th. And hey, we've gotten a little bit bigger. Ziad Al-Mayouf, the most happiest man I've ever seen in Saudi Arabia, is with us, professional fighter as well. How you doing, buddy?
All good, all good. You know, this is my first time with the American team. I'm usually with the English team, but I don't know where they sent them, so now I'm with the American team. Happy about that.
Why didn't you tell these guys they didn't have to wear bomber jackets and it's going to be 95 degrees?
Yeah, we'll see. We start summer very early here.
Very early here.
January.
Yes, very early, yeah.
Zizo, what are your thoughts about this fight card? Canelo coming to Saudi Arabia for the first time.
You know what? The face of boxing is in, you know, the place right now where is the face of boxing. So it's just a fighter meets a place and they have something in common and they are the faces of boxing today. I was walking into the gym today, the Mike Tyson gym, just a normal day in my regiment, you know, walking at 2 p.m. and then I see Canelo there, a full 2-hour workout. That is something I could never have imagined when I was a kid, you know. I had my boxing bag, yes, but I was only there to do strength and conditioning. After Canelo was done, I did boxing and strength and conditioning, you know? So this is what it is really all about, right? So to just inspire us, but in reality, the ecosystem, the growth, and we see it on this card with a Saudi fighter, and we see it here right now with a Saudi fighter present too, so yeah, well, I love this.
I know you're motivating a lot of fighters here in the kingdom. We'll talk more about that in just a minute. Hang around for a few moments. We're going to get your comments, but right now, let's send it to the stage and get this party started. It's the grand arrivals, and now to the Grand Marshal of the festivities, Mr. Thomas Triber.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the grand arrivals for Fatal Fury World Championship Boxing this Saturday, May 3rd, from the A&B Arena in Riyadh, Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. We would first like to thank the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia and the custodian of the two holy mosques, King Salman bin Abdulaziz Al Saud, the Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, and His Excellency Chairman of the General Entertainment Authority, GIA, Turkey, Alakel. This great event is being brought to you by Riyadh Season and the General Entertainment Authority, GIA, with Frank Warren, Fort Queensberry, Canelo Promotions, Aegon Sports and Events, and Sella, along with their great sponsors, Riyadh Season, STA, STC, Dr. Suleiman El Habib Medical Group, and Arena Fitness Innovation. A big thanks to those great sponsors. It will be broadcast live worldwide on DAZN, and final tickets are available through WeBook.com. Let's now get the grand arrivals started. Our first fighter competing Saturday in a scheduled 8-round heavyweight contest. He comes to us from London, England. He brings a professional record of 17 wins, just 1 defeat. 13 of his 17 wins coming by way of knockout. Let's welcome Richard Riakporhe.
Richard Riakporhe making the walk. And Chris, we didn't even know this guy was fighting until this morning. What's going on here?
Late addition to this card, but a well-known addition in British boxing circles. Richard Riakporhe, long-time cruiserweight contender, has some good wins on his resume against Christopher Philip Smith, against Christopher Walaki. He lost his last time out in a cruiserweight title fight against Chris Philip Smith. Good fight over in the UK. Now he's moving up to heavyweight. He certainly has the size to do it, Sergio. 6'5", and at 35 years old, I think he wants to try to extend his career a little bit longer in the heavyweight division.
And a mean puncher. He's exciting to watch. I mean, this is the type of guy that if you stand in front of him too long, you're going to get knocked out. So expect this man to want to go looking for the knockout really quick, turn some heads, and be in the show, be part of the show.
Richard Riakporhe, the man that will kick off an 8-fight card live from Riyadh on Saturday night. Let's go down to Claudia.
Thank you, Todd. We're in great company. Richard, welcome to Riyadh. Wonderful to have you here. And you're opening our event. How does it feel to be walking this purple-red carpet? Purple carpet.
It feels amazing. The ambience, what you've done, with this whole project, it's been unbelievable. I just knew from watching it back in London, I have to be a part of this. I have to be a part of this one day. And now we're finally here, so I'm really happy.
And you're moving up in weight. This is the first time you're going to do this and the first time fighting here in Riyadh. So how is the feeling right now? You're just a week away.
Yeah, it feels good. I'm just enjoying the fight week and all the activities. I'm doing my last bit of sharpening up in the gym. The vibe is good, the energy is good, we're focused, and we're ready to put on a good performance and entertain the crowd and everybody spectating.
We're looking forward to seeing you. And of course, guys, I definitely need an apple box. 5'3" is not going to cut it. Thank you so much.
It's okay, Claudia. Short people need love too.
Our next fighter competing Saturday in a scheduled 6-round super featherweight contest. He hails from right here, Riyadh, Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, and he is undefeated with 3 victories. Let's welcome mighty Mohammed Alakel.
All right, Zizo, give us a lowdown. What do you like about Mighty Mo?
Just from seeing the past few fights, I absolutely love the composure. The composure that I've seen from Mo in the ring has been incredible, especially that he moved up to 6 rounds in his second fight straight away, which is something I really advocate for. I hate 4-rounders. I actually hate 6-rounders too. I feel like it gets calmer and it gets better in 8 rounds, but so far I like how he picks his shots very well. The hardest punch to teach in boxing, some may say, is the uppercut. He has a beautiful uppercut that he likes to throw, sometimes from a distance and sometimes up close, but I like Mo. He looks locked in, zoned in, and he's just very good, calm, composed fighter, but also a character too, which we see in front of us.
And what a great moment for his career. He can always tell his kids he fought on the same fight card as Canelo Alvarez. Back to Claudia.
Thank you, Todd. Big mighty Mo, welcome. How did that feel walking down that purple carpet?
Yeah, it's good. It's my 4th time now fighting in Riyadh, and I'm always grateful for these opportunities, and hopefully I can put a good performance for my people.
Well, 3-0, perfect mark. Yeah. So now you're going to be in the undercard of Canelo, making his first appearance here in Riyadh season. What does that mean to you?
I've been training really hard. I'm looking forward to it. Hopefully I'll put in a great performance.
Well, we look forward to seeing you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Our next 2 fighters competing Saturday in a scheduled 6-round middleweight contest. Let's first welcome, coming to us from Monterrey, Nuevo León, Mexico. He brings a professional record of 4 wins, 5 defeats, 3 draws. 2 of his 4 wins coming by way of knockout. Here is Michel El Águila Galvan Polina.
Michael Galvan Polina, you see the record there. Not that impressive, but he's taking on a man who's making his pro debut, Sergio. But hey, a good opportunity here for Polina to make a name for himself.
A huge opportunity, because big plans for Marco Verde, 2024 Olympic silver medalist. Big plans, training with Eddie Reynoso, and part of that camp, of course, they expect him to be the goods. But listen, Michael Polina does have some pop, and he's fought some decent fighters, and those losses are actually pretty good losses and learning on the job. So expect Polina to give it all out there, especially with that right hand.
And we've seen some of these unheralded Mexicans come here to Saudi, Chris, and really cause some problems.
Hey, one of the most dangerous fighters in the world, as Zizo nodded his head. Zizo, you know a little bit about that, don't you?
And now let's welcome, from Mazatlan, Sinaloa, Mexico. Mexico, a 2024 Olympic silver medalist. This Saturday, he makes his highly anticipated professional boxing debut. Let's welcome Marco Verde.
Sergio, how is this guy's nickname not Salsa Verde?
Well, listen, man, this guy, mean right hook puncher. This man right here, I'm telling you right now, he's the goods. Anytime you hear me Sinaloa, I told you, anytime you hear a fighter from Sinaloa, Mexico, you know they got boxing in their bloodline. An Olympian, big plans for this man, especially with that right hook, him being a lefty and a southpaw. Perfect nickname, Todd. I love that.
Ziad, you made your professional debut not too long ago. What's he feeling right now?
You see, that's what I was just about to say. If I know one thing, is making your pro debut on stages like that. And look, maybe I wasn't an Olympian or a medalist, but the pressure is the same on all making your pro debut on such a huge place and a huge event, especially him being Mexican. Canelo's the main event, but look, he's soaking it all in, just like I did. Enjoy the moment. Don't let the occasion take away from the small moments, and I'm pretty sure he's going to take that energy from fight week to fight night.
Well, Ziad, we appreciate you stopping by. We know you got to roll. When are you fighting next? Do you have a fight date yet?
I'll leave that up to His Excellency.
Right.
You know I can't say it.
All right, we'll see you soon. Thanks for
Hopefully
stopping
not a
by.
Mexican.
Now let's send it back down to Claudia Trejo.
Thank you, Todd. And here I am with Marco Verde. Vamos a hacer esto bilingüe, ¿te parece? We're going to do this bilingual. Tú tranquilo, yo nerviosa. We got this, right? Okay. So this is your first time walking down a carpet with a grand arrival. What's going through your head? Es la primera vez que estás caminando por la alfombra roja en la gran llegada. ¿Qué se siente? ¿Qué te pasa por la cabeza?
No, contento, emocionado más que nada. Pues ya, feliz de estar aquí. Por supuesto, es mi primera vez, así que no puedo estar más que contento y listo para la pelea.
I'm very excited. There's a lot of emotions going on. Of course, this is my first time, and it cannot be any better than this. And with that being said, you're carrying the Mexican flag under the face of boxing, who is el gran Canelo Álvarez. So what does this mean to you? Estás cargando la bandera mexicana bajo la cartelera de la cara de boxeo, el gran Canelo Álvarez. ¿Qué significa esta oportunidad para ti?
La verdad es muy emocionante, creo que es muy emocionante, tanto para mí, para mi equipo, así que pues vamos a dar la cara. Siempre así como lo hice en Juegos Olímpicos, voy a demostrar que esa bandera también pesa, pues vamos a dar una buena pelea, tanto yo como mi rival.
It's very exciting, very exciting. This has been a great experience for my team and myself. And of course, I'm going to give face just like I did in the Olympics, and I'm going to obviously carry the flag very high. Congratulations, great to have you here. Felicidades, un placer tenerte aquí.
No, muchas gracias.
Can't wait to see it. Marco Verde making his debut against Michael Galvan Paulina.
Our next two fighters competing Saturday in a scheduled 6-round light heavyweight contest. Let's first welcome, coming to us from Culiacan, Sinaloa, Mexico. He brings a professional record of 11 wins, 3 defeats, 1 draw, 7 of his 11 wins coming by way of knockout. Let's welcome Adron Rocha Guerrero.
Another Sinaloan. Sergio.
Sinaloense, close enough, Todd, but yeah. Another big man, and look, I love the fact that they're really soaking up this moment. They're fighting under the face of boxing. They're here in Riyadh, representing the Mexican spirit on Cinco de Mayo weekend. I love it.
Hey, this is the first of 2 Mexico versus Cuba fights. Of course, the main event will be Mexico versus Cuba. The last big Cuba-Mexico fight probably was Isaac Cruz and Yuri Gamboa a few years back. Who's usually better, Mexicans or Cubans? Sergio, I know you're going to answer, but I'll ask you anyway.
Hey, listen, don't put me on the spot. They're 2 different schools. You know, the Mexican goes in there looking for a fight. The Cuban looking, to box around, looking for the big right hands on the point system. It goes back and forth, but normally it's a war of attrition. And one of them...
How do you not say the Mexicans are going to win?
Hey, listen,
You're
you
Mexican.
could say it. You could say it.
And now let's welcome from Pinar del Rio, Cuba, undefeated with 6 wins, all 6 wins coming by way of knockout. Let's welcome Brian Leon.
Well, Chris, the record is certainly flashy. 6 wins, no losses, all 6 victories coming by way of knockout. From what you've seen, how real is the deal with this guy?
I think he's got a lot of potential, that's for sure. You talked briefly, Todd, about that Cuban style. And that Cuban style has evolved a lot over the years. So you can get very different types of fighters. But this young man, he has got power, he has got pop, he has got a lot to like, talent-wise. I think he's got a potential to be a real contender in this weight class.
Sergio, is that record legit? 6 wins, all by knockout?
Absolutely, and look, he's an Olympian. He has big power. Anytime you start off knocking out guys in 4 rounds and 6 rounds, that power is legit. He's in there with a guy that's actually pretty tough as well. If he can knock out fighters like Guerrero, it's going to be the toughest test of the test. So if you can knock out like a guy like this, turn some heads, then the power's real and the potential is definitely real.
Yeah, he's no longer a Guillermo Rigondeaux type. That's no longer the Cuban style. It's more Yuri Gamboa and Luis Ortiz.
And Andy Cruz. Here's Claudia.
Thank you, Todd. We're here with Brian Leon desde Cuba para el mundo, from Cuba to the world. You were very solemn as you were walking down the red carpet. What was going through your head? Estabas como muy solemne cuando estabas caminando por la alfombra. ¿Qué te estaba pasando por la cabeza?
No, ya estamos a 3 días de la pelea. Solo estoy concentrado y pensando en mi pelea.
So I'm only 3 days away from my fight. I'm just focused on the fight, and I'm just focused. And at this point in time, you have a perfect record. How heavy does that weigh on your back? Because you're putting that on the line. Tienes una marca perfecta. Todas tus victorias por la vía del knockout. ¿Qué tanto pesa esa marca?
No, vengo con muy buen récord y vengo a tratar de seguir con mi récord, tratar de buscar la 7ª victoria por knockout también.
No, I'm fine. I have a very good record, and I am going to look to continue that line of victories by knockout. So he wants to finish this fight before the final bell. Just between you and I, nobody will know. Nobody will know. When do you think this fight is going to be done? Esto queda entre tú y yo. ¿En qué asalto crees que acaba la pelea?
Bueno, no voy a buscar el knockout en ningún round. Voy a salir a hacer mi trabajo y cuando se me dé la oportunidad tratar de terminarlo.
No. You're selling yourself short. You told me that you wanted to finish the fight by knockout. Don't give me no lip. Me dijiste que querías terminar la pelea antes de la campana final. Dime en qué asalto, a ver. Eso queda entre tú y yo.
Pero no me gusta subestimar a mis contrarios. Soy muy buen peleador, voy a seguir a hacer mi trabajo normal y cuando se dé la oportunidad voy a tratar de terminarlo antes del 6º.
Okay, fair. Okay. He said, I don't want to underestimate my opponent. I don't want to be disrespectful. I'm just going to do my job, but I am going to finish it before the final bell. Thank you very much and congratulations. Good to have you here.
Thank you. Thank you.
Our next 2 fighters competing Saturday in a scheduled 10-round heavyweight contest. Let's first welcome from Ughelli, Nigeria. He brings a professional record of 20 wins, 1 defeat, 14 of his 20 wins coming by way of knockout. Let's welcome Efe, the silent ruler, Ajagba.
This is a scary dude. 5 straight wins. He hits hard, getting ready for a fight that I think could steal the show. An all-African showdown, Chris.
Yeah, it's a critical fight, too, for Efe Ajagba. For a long time, he looked like he could be invincible, terrorizing force in the heavyweight division. If you remember back in 2018, he faced Curtis Harper. Curtis Harper left the ring before the opening bell. Now, that was allegedly over money. Might have been a little bit of fear in facing Efe Ajagba at that point. But in 2019, I was in California watching him get knocked down in a fight. He was beaten here in Saudi Arabia by Frank Sanchez. His last fight, it did not look great against Guido Vianello. So this could be make or break right now for Efe Ajagba.
And the thing is, he's only once beaten by a mover in Frank Sanchez, a Cuban style, Cuban Olympian that moves around the ring. The man he has in front of him is equally as scary, is not going to be moving. This fight ends in under 3 rounds. Both these guys end the fight quickly, expect a quick knockout. Who is it? I have no idea.
And now let's welcome from Kananga, Democratic Republic of Congo. He brings a professional record of 21 wins, 2 defeats, 16 of his 21 wins coming by way of knockout. Here is Martin Bakole.
Well, Chris, just a couple of months ago, this man might have been the most feared heavyweight on the planet, but he decided to take a fight on 48 hours notice to fight Joseph Parker. We saw how that ended. Has his mystique or his aura been diminished in your eyes?
I think some of the aura invincibility, if there was one, comes off with Martin Bakole. But you got to remember the circumstances. I mean, he was sitting on the couch on Thursday evening of that fight week. By Saturday night, he was in the ring with Joseph Parker, a world-class heavyweight. The question I have coming into this fight, Sergio, is the 2-ish months he's had since that fight enough for him to recover, get a full training camp in, and be the same fighter that we've seen?
I believe so, because it was a one-punch knockout. It wasn't a physical fight. It didn't go into the distance. He got knocked out by one punch because he wasn't in great shape. You know, he answered the call, man. We gotta give him a lot of credit. Martin Bakole answered the call, he got stopped, now he gets another big opportunity. This is a time to shine, and the boogeyman reputation continues if he can take care of business.
The Democratic Republic of Congo versus Nigeria live on Saturday.
I'm getting ready to party. Martin, I love this rhythm. You're always ready to party. How is your spirit right now?
I'm ready to go. So I saw my opponent here. I feel like I can jump on him and ready to go.
Well, hold on, just a little bit. Just back up just a tad, because I want to know, how does it feel to be here? You know, you are the kind of man that would take any challenge. Yeah. How is this different?
The big one. So first I want to say a big thank you to His Excellency Dirk for bringing me here again. I feel like I always be home here, so because it's not my first time here, and I'm here to do the business.
There you go. We're looking forward to seeing your business. It's going to be a great night of fighting. Thank you very much, Martin.
Thank you so much.
Chris, who's the favorite in that one?
I think Bacole's the favorite, but I'm with Sergio. That fight doesn't go into the second half.
Our next 2 fighters competing Saturday in a rematch scheduled for 10 rounds in the super middleweight division. Let's first welcome from Marseille, France. He brings an undefeated record with 26 wins, 2 draws, 5 wins coming by way of knockout. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome Brunello Surace.
So we've got Canelo, Chris, and we've also got Brunello here in Riyadh.
What a 6-month run it has been for Bruno Surace, who was effectively a club fighter over in France before he was tapped for a homecoming fight against Jaime Munguia. For context, Sergio, the last time that Munguia had a homecoming fight, he cleaned the clock of Demetrius Ballard inside 3 rounds. So this guy was brought to Tijuana to lose, and to lose bad. He upsets the apple cart, knocks out Jaime Munguia with a 1-punch knockout of the year contender. Now here he is on the Canelo Alvarez card, probably making a pile of money with the chance to put the final nail perhaps in the coffin of Jaime Munguia's career.
That was $1 million punch, and guess what? Munguia's not going to change. He's not going to change his stripes. He's not going to become a defensive wizard. That right hand is going to be possible again, and for a natural 168-pounder, all it takes is for him to land that shot again early to get the confidence. Now, mind you, Surace got dropped in that fight. He got up to get the knockout. So he has resilience, heart, and you can bet he's ready for the moment.
And hello, Bruno. ¿Cómo ça va?
Très, très, très bien, merci.
Ah, that's very well, thank you. So let's start with that. Last year, you were knockout of the night, of this year actually, and upset of the year by Ring Magazine. And how did that make you feel at that moment?
It's been an unbelievable moment, and I have the will to do it again.
And that was my next question. The pressure that you feel right now after such an outstanding performance, how does that feel right now?
I think the pressure is not on my side. He has the will to revenge that loss, and I have to give my best, so the pressure is on his side, yeah.
And of course, you have your friends, your family here. How is that different from your experience back in TJ?
Now I prepare like a champion, and I come like a champion, so everything is different. And I want to show you the new version of me on May 3rd.
There we go. We look forward to that. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
How will he do against a Mexican in Cinco de Mayo weekend? He already beat a Mexican in Tijuana, Sergio. That's pretty damn tough.
Yeah, and that same Mexican is coming out again. Now, will that same Mexican come with the same game plan? That's what I don't want to see from Jaime Munguia. I want to see him jab. I want to see him treat this man with respect, pop him with some jabs, get him to start digging the body, get those elbows tucked in for he won't throw the right hand. That's how you beat this man in the decision. Don't go looking for the knockout.
And now let's welcome from Tijuana, Baja California, Mexico. He brings a professional record of 44 wins, 2 defeats, 35 of his 44 wins coming by way of knockout. He is the former WBO super welterweight champion of the world, Jaime Munguia.
Well, Sergio, you mentioned it. Basically, a tiger can't change his stripes. Munguia earlier this week said, I will knock him out or I'll get knocked out. It won't go the distance. That's the only way I know how to fight.
And that's the Mexican style. That's the Mexican mentality. But look, if you don't bring game plan, the same thing is going to happen, Todd. He's going to get hit with flush right hands because, look, this man, his offense is his defense. You're not going to change him. But if you can be smarter behind that jab, bang at the body. You got to wear this man down. He's the natural, bigger fighter. Mind you, Munguia started his career at 154. His power hasn't carried, but his volume has, his aggression has, his chin has. But now that chin got cracked, he can't rely on that chin. So that's the reason I expect him to fight behind the jab and bring some strategy.
Well, I'm interested to see what tweaks Eddie Reynoso has made to Jaime Munguia's game. Munguia, for the last, 5-6 years, been training either with Eric Morales or with Freddie Roach. He linked up with Team Canelo for this camp, has been working out with Canelo side by side leading up until this fight. Eddie Reynoso probably will try to tinker with some things. I'm anxious to see what it looks like in the ring.
This must be the most well-known Mexican song ever. Who doesn't like this song?
I think we just got La Cucaracha 2 fights ago.
This is better.
Says you.
La la bamba.
En serio, Todd, en serio. No te preocupes, don't even worry about it. They're trying to sing. Están tratando de cantar la bamba. Ya vamos a perder el año.
Okay.
Let's start. How's your English doing?
Mejor. Better.
Better. Good, good. How do you feel today?
Muy bien, muy bien.
¿Y en inglés?
Excelente. Good, very good.
I'm so excited. We're making a lot of progress. And of course, you're a man on a mission. This fight has to have a completely different meaning. It's 5 de mayo, and of course, it's a rematch. Esta pelea tiene que tener un significado muy importante. Obviamente, por lo ocurrido, además, es 5 de mayo y estás aquí en Riyadh. ¿Qué significa para ti?
Sí, así es, la verdad que pues estamos muy contentos, primeramente de estar aquí, agradecidos, pues emocionados por esta gran revancha, pero sobre todo por el gran escenario.
We're very grateful for this opportunity. We're very excited, not just because we're here in Riyadh, but because it's a rematch. And obviously, the scenario just adds to the excitement. And with that being said, you're carrying the weight of an outstanding record, with power on both hands, and to actually declare yourself as, Mexican-style fighter. So how are you going to make things different this time? Obviamente llegas con la responsabilidad de, obviamente, declararte como el estilo mexicano, con poder en ambas manos. ¿Qué vas a hacer diferente este sábado?
Bueno, pues yo creo que tenemos que hacer las cosas mucho mejor que lo que hicimos la vez pasada, estar alerta en todo momento y bueno, tratar de ir a darle esa gran pelea que merece todo el público.
Well, we're going to do things a lot better. We deserve to do things a lot better. Obviously, we're going to be alert and we're going to be always paying attention to what's going on because the first and foremost, we want to give the public and the audience the fight they deserve. Well, we wish you the best of luck and it's great to have you here in Riyadh. Te deseamos la mejor de las suertes y obviamente un placer tenerte aquí en Riyadh.
Muchas gracias, gracias a todos.
Sergio, he's got to be feeling a little pressure. He suffered the knockout of the year and the upset of the year in Tijuana.
A lot of pressure. That's the thing, man. You got to come back from that. Only great fighters, great champions are able to come back and win after getting knocked out. We'll see if Munguia is one of them.
Yeah, the stakes could not be higher. I don't think his career ends with a loss, but back-to-back losses to Bruno Surace are a lot different than a loss to Canelo Alvarez. It would be a big hill to climb for Jaime Munguia to get back.
Our next two fighters competing Saturday in a scheduled 12-round contest, and it will be for the WBC Cruiserweight Championship of the World. Let's first welcome a native of Yerevan, Armenia. Now fighting out of Miami, Florida, he brings a professional record of 27 wins, 2 defeats, 12 wins coming by way of knockout. He is the current WBC Cruiserweight Champion of the World in recess. Here is Noel, the Dark Horse, Mikaelian.
All right, Chris, we always turn to you for these complicated explanations. He is a champion in recess, but he's fighting for a title that he no longer has, but some say he does still have.
All right, this is for the belt heads that are out there. Noel Mikaelian is the champion in recess. He gave up his title last year due to some promotional issues, couldn't get a fight in with his mandatory challenger. He won the title off of Junior Makabu, could not make a defense of it. He is facing Badou Jack, who also won the title off of Junior Makabu. He won it when Makabu had the full belt. He gave up that title, become champion in recess. When he decided to move up to Bridgerweight, he never actually fought at Bridgerweight, so the WBC gave Badou Jack his title back, and now here Noel Mikaelian is ready to try to fight for the title that never officially lost. You got all that, Sergio?
Of course I didn't.
Well, he hasn't fought in 546 days, and his opponent hasn't fought in over 2 years. A lot of rust gonna have to be shaken off Saturday night for the Cruiserweight title.
And now let's welcome a native of Stockholm, Sweden, now fighting out of Dubai, United Arab Emirates. He has a professional record consisting of 28 wins, 3 defeats, 3 draws, 17 of his 28 wins coming by way of knockout. He is the reigning and defending WBC Cruiserweight Champion of the World, Badou Jack the Ripper.
Badou Jack, one of the really, truly great, nice guys in boxing. He won his title, beating Alunga Bakubu with a 12th round stoppage on the Tommy Fury-Jake Paul undercard in February of 2023, but he hasn't fought since.
Yeah, his plan was to move up to the Bridgerweight division where the WBC has created a weight class and fight for a world title there. That never materialized, so to get his career restarted here in his early 40s, it should be noted, he is back fighting at Cruiserweight and defending the title that was restored to him after the issues Mikaelian had. Look, Badou Jack, a lot of the line in a fight like this. You've got a fight with Zerto Ramirez and Uniel Dorticos coming up in June. Badou Jack could be in line to face the winner of that fight in what would be a lucrative and pretty well anticipated showdown.
Badou! Does it ever get old?
No.
What were you thinking as you're coming down this purple carpet?
I'm just glad to be back in the ring. I had a little bit of a layoff. Very excited and can't wait till fight night.
Let's talk about that little layoff. How is that a factor, if it is at all?
I don't think it's a factor. Just think it's a good thing. It wasn't my choice, but boxing politics, things happen. And now, thanks to His Excellency, I got the opportunity to fight again.
Very few people can stay sharp and can stay in shape like you do when we're, in the fourth floor. How do you do it?
I mean, it's a lifestyle. If you're a fighter, that's a lifestyle. You can't just train when it's training camp. You got to train all year round, live clean, sleep good, recovery, everything. So, yeah.
In this card, obviously, it's an interesting challenge. He's a young man who's hungry, who has, obviously, crosshairs on you. What do you have to say about this challenge?
I mean, it's a tough fight. He took the fight on 3.5 weeks' notice, but they say he was in camp for another fight, so he'll be ready. I'll be ready, no problem.
Mentally, how do you face such a challenge, especially coming all the way to Riyadh, first time fighting here? What goes through your head?
Actually, my last 2 fights was in Saudi, so
I'm sorry.
Time. But yeah, I mean, I'm ready. I fought everybody in the world and all the best in the super middleweight, light heavyweight, and cruiserweight. So it's another fight for me.
It's just another day at the office?
Yes, sir.
Anything new? It's okay. I've been called that too. But is there anything new that we should be looking at, especially because we haven't seen you in 2 years?
No, just tune in. I'm definitely ready.
There you go. Short, sweet, and concise. Thank you, Badu.
Thank you.
The 41-year-old Badu Jack back in action after a 797-day layoff. Well, we've met 14 fighters, just 2 to go. The main event grand arrivals coming up next. But first, let's go to camp with Canelo.
When I start boxing, I start because my older brother. So, and obviously I see in the gym when I train with Eddie and Chepo, I see El Chololo Larios. He was a champion, a world champion. So I visualize myself to be a world champion, but I never imagine this magnitude, right? But I always wanted to be a world champion because I see that in the gym. I think I accomplished everything in boxing already.
Speed, 1, 2, 3, mijo, in your favorite room.
But still fighting in these kind of fights, world championships. For me, it was a dream fighting in another country. Right now, I'm close to do it. Outside of USA or Mexico, obviously, but now I'm close to do it. So, yeah, but I'm pretty much accomplished everything in boxing.
Vamos a hacer dos dobles, ¿eh? 1, 2, 3, pa, 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 pa. Boom, 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 y vuelves. Te sales a 1.
I'm always excited for the process.
Venga, mijo. Boom, boom.
For me, the process is the most exciting thing. I think when you love something, it's not that sacrifice, right? They say when you love what you do, it's not work.
Está fuerte el Jaimillo, ¿no?
Friday and Saturday, it's the Knockout Weekend Bundle. 2 incredible fight nights. May 2nd, Ryan Garcia takes on Rolly Romero in Times Square, presented by The Ring Magazine. Fatal Fury, City of the Wolves. Then it's Destination Riyadh, where we are Saturday night. Saul Canelo Alvarez headlines a stacked card when he faces William Scull for the undisputed super middleweight championship of the world. And hello again, Todd Grisham, Sergio Mora, and Chris Mannix. We are awaiting the grand arrival of William Scull and Canelo Alvarez. And Sergio, when you first heard about this matchup, the mandatory matchup that Canelo had to have against Scull, what did you think?
I'll be honest with you, I don't know who he was. I had to search up who William Scull was, and there's not many fights on him. Right now, you can go and try to look for fights on Scull. You wouldn't find them, but you can find 2 of them. And both those fights, I mean, he's a tricky fighter. He's a smart, savvy, Cuban style, has a good right hand. This is one of these guys that could be a spoiler, a Cuban spoiler at that. So look, whenever you're the unknown, that can work to your benefit. That's how I saw about William Scull.
Yeah, William Scull took advantage of his opportunities, right? He got in line for that IBF light heavyweight title. If you know anything about the IBF, it's that they enforce their mandatory. They are not going to move things round and round. If you are going to face your mandatory, the best chance to be in is that IBF ranking. Look, I was ringside about a year ago when he fought Sean Hempel on the undercard of Canelo against Munguia. I remember thinking, all right, this guy's okay. He beats Vladimir Shishkin. That was certainly a disputed decision. But like Sergio says, this guy does have some talent. He is a longtime amateur out of Cuba, and he's going to come into this fight with something of the element of surprise here. Canelo Alvarez is probably not expecting much. He's probably looking forward to bigger and better things later this year and into next year. William Scull has a size advantage. He's got some talent. He's going to be able to put it all together on fight night.
This is going to be a very different environment for Canelo Alvarez. He's used to a lot of hoopla, tons of people. This fight's going to take place in a foreign country. First time he's fighting outside of North America, and it's going to walk at about 6 a.m. local time. So who knows how that's going to affect Canelo Alvarez mentally and physically, but we will find out 4 days from now. Well, William Scull is ready to make his grand arrival, so we turn it back over to Thomas Tribal.
Ladies and gentlemen, our main event this Saturday, it is scheduled for 12 rounds, and it'll be for the undisputed super middleweight championship of the world. Let's first welcome a native of Matanzas, Cuba, now fighting out of Berlin, Germany. He brings an undefeated record with 23 wins, 9 wins coming by way of knockout. Let's welcome the reigning and defending IBF super middleweight champion of the world, William El Indomable Scull.
Well, if he's nervous, he doesn't look it, just smacking on that gum. And he was asked earlier this week, Chris, basically, what does he think of Canelo right now at this stage in his career? And he said, look, he's slowed down. He doesn't throw as many punches. He's not as good as he once was, and I can beat him.
I think 2 of the first 3 things you said there are factually accurate. He is a little bit older. He has slowed down, but I still think he is among the top 10 best fighters in the world. Something you said there, though, Todd, about how comfortable he looks. You can see that on his walk to the dais right now. That's in stark contrast to how he looked in New York about a month ago. You hosted that press conference. One of my takeaways was that William Scull kind of looked deer in the headlights. Canelo Alvarez is used to the pomp and circumstance of a big event. William Scull is not. So this is, it feels like just watching him make this walk, a much maybe lighter version of William Scull.
Sergio, I kind of like the Cuban music. I know I like La Cucaracha, but this one and La Bamba, but I like this too.
Of course, but you don't know how to dance, you have no rhythm. That man has a little bit of rhythm. Good footwork, good right hand. If he can utilize a bunch of things and frustrate Canelo, use his size, you never know, man, especially with that confidence.
Well, the part of Cuba that he's from apparently invented the rumba dance.
Matanzas.
Which I cannot do.
We saw that, Todd. You can't do the rumba. Sorry. William, welcome. There's such a party as you walked in. How did that feel? Bienvenido. Una fiesta mientras estabas caminando. ¿Cómo te sientes?
Primero que todo, agradecerle a Arabia Saudí por la aceptación y la verdad que es una muy linda organización. La verdad que me siento muy bien, estoy disfrutando de algo muy lindo, que algo que estoy viviendo, ¿no? Y que algo que vamos a demostrar que sí se puede.
First of all, I want to thank the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia for this opportunity. I'm actually very, very happy. It's something very beautiful in my experience, and I'm enjoying every minute before I do my business on Saturday. And talking about your business, you were very clear yesterday. You said, me voy a comer al Canelo. I'm going to eat el Canelo. Would you mind explaining what that means to me? ¿Me puedes explicar eso qué significa para ti?
No, significa no, en el mejor sentido, no, y con el mejor respeto del mundo, pero bueno, las cosas son como son. Aquí vinimos a ganar de la forma que sea, pero me lo voy a comer.
Well, I mean, the utmost respect. I don't mean to be disrespectful to anybody, but I'm here for one reason, and that is to win, and that's it. I'm going to eat them. So with that being said, you are a lot more relaxed today compared to your press conference where you were a little tense. I know it's been 9 years in the making. What makes you so relaxed now? Estás un poco diferente a cuando estuviste en la conferencia de prensa, mucho más relajado. Obviamente son 9 años para esta oportunidad, pero ¿por qué estás tan relajado?
No, lo que pasa, ¿no? Que la primera conferencia estuvo un poco molesto porque no se entendía bien, pero bueno, porque yo siempre estuve relajado porque estoy concentrado en el plan de trabajo que vengo haciendo, en una excelente preparación y de momento, y de seguir callando boca y seguir demostrando porque es el momento mío y me eso que estoy tan feliz de eso.
Well, yes, I was a little uncomfortable, but now I'm focused on what I have to do. I'm very excited because I am here to, shut some mouths and do exactly what I need to do on Saturday. Well, we look forward to seeing you on Saturday, and thank you for joining us.
Muchas gracias a todos por el apoyo y estén pendientes de la pelea.
Thank you very much.
Well, Sergio's going to have the height and reach advantage, 3.5 inches taller than Canelo. Can he use it to his advantage?
Canelo is accustomed to facing tall fighters, long fighters, inside fighters, outside fighters. There's nothing that man hasn't seen in 66 fights. So no, he will not be surprised. That man's gonna have to find magic in a bottle and do something special, something that only two great fighters, undefeated fighters have been able to do against Saul Canelo Alvarez. We'll see if he can do it.
Yeah, I agree. Canelo going into virtually every one of his fights over the last 10 years has been at a significant size disadvantage. Look at guys like Callum Smith to Gennady Golovkin, big fighters at 160 and 168. William Scull is going to rely on something other than size if he hopes to get a win against Canelo.
All right, now let's turn it over to the main man, and no, I'm not talking about Thomas Triber.
And now let's welcome the 4-weight world champion. He has a professional record consisting of 62 wins, 2 defeats, 2 draws, 39 wins, coming by way of knockout. He is the current Ring Magazine champion and the reigning and defending WBC, WBA, and WBO super middleweight champion of the world. Damas y caballeros, el orgullo de Guadalajara, Jalisco, México, Saul Canelo Alvarez.
Well, we're used to seeing him in the United States, in Las Vegas. We've seen him at Dallas Cowboys Stadium. He's fought in his hometown of Guadalajara. Sergio fighting in Saudi Arabia for the first time. How much different do you expect this to feel for Canelo on Saturday?
I think this man is so accustomed to just being a star wherever he goes, whether it's in Mexico, United States, or in Riyadh, Saudi, or one day maybe across the pond in the UK. He's going to be able to shine wherever he goes because a star is a star.
I think the biggest adjustment is not fighting over here in Saudi Arabia, but fighting at 6 o'clock in the morning local time. We can say that as an amateur, you move around, fight different styles, fight different guys. I don't think he's ever fought this early in the day, had to recalibrate his body clock to be ready to fight at this particular time. But Canelo Alvarez has proven over the years he adapts to every set of circumstances that are placed in front of him, and when he thrives.
He looks good. He says he feels good. He has a chance to become undisputed once again in the super middleweight division Saturday night. Back down to Claudia.
Thank you, Todd. Welcome, Canelo.
Thank you.
How is this environment feeling?
Oh, I feel great. I feel like at home. They train me really, really good, and I feel like at home.
There's a different sense of Cinco de Mayo here, though.
Yeah.
No chilaquiles, no fajitas.
No mariachi.
No mariachi. Do you miss it?
Yeah, I miss it a little bit, but it's something new for me, and I'm very grateful because this is one of my dreams. Now, fighting in another country, now I'm here, and I'm enjoying everything, all the process. I enjoy it.
Every time we chat, we always talk about your legacy and how you write a new chapter. How would you like this chapter to be finished?
Like always, the best. I always looking for the best, and I knew, and I know it's is coming something really good for me.
Riyadh season is taking boxing for a storm. This is basically a boxing fan's dream. We have fight every day, and you've been part of it all the way from the beginning to the end, closing it off. How is this important for you in terms of always opening doors for other fighters?
No, this is important for me because, you know, Mexican fighters go to the other countries like opponents, right? Now I'm here to bring, I'm the A side, no? In Saudi Arabia, and that opens the door to other fighters from Mexico, and that makes me feel proud about bringing that to my country.
And of course, now this out of Mexico, out of US, now Riyadh is going to have your name in their history books. And how does that make you feel?
No, it made me feel good because that's what I'm here, right? To make history and make me feel very good and motivate myself at this point in my career even more. Like I say, always for me it's proud to bring the Mexican flag everywhere I go, and I'm proud about represent my country.
And we're proud to have you, but now, un poquito de español para nuestros fanáticos. Bueno, estás caminando, el ambiente un poco diferente, un ambiente diferente para un 5 de mayo. ¿Qué se siente?
No, me siento muy contento, la verdad que me han tratado muy bien aquí, me han tratado como un rey, me estoy muy agradecido. Para mí esto es un sueño hecho realidad, siempre había querido pelear en otros países que no fuera Estados Unidos o México, ahora estoy a muy pocos días de lograrlo y me siento muy contento, muy agradecido y disfrutando todo el proceso.
Bueno, el Riyadh Season ha tomado básicamente el deporte en huracán y es el sueño para cualquier fanático del boxeo. Y tú obviamente estás desde el principio hasta el final y siempre abriendo puertas para otros boxeadores. ¿Por qué?
No, la verdad que me siento muy contento de poder abrir la puerta a otros peleadores, el poder venir ahora como el lado A, no venir de oponentes a otros países. Y el poder abrir las puertas de esta manera, para mí me siento muy orgulloso. Espero que sea la primera de muchas y poderle abrir la puerta a peleadores mexicanos.
Y rápidamente, siempre hablamos de tu legado y cómo escribes un nuevo capítulo. ¿Cómo te gustaría terminar este capítulo en particular?
Con lo mejor, como siempre, ¿no? Con lo mejor, un capítulo lleno de emociones, lleno de grandes noches para nosotros y disfrutar cada momento que se viene.
Que viva el boxeo, enhorabuena.
Así es, que viva México, cabrones.
Thank you very much.
So Canelo Alvarez will be fighting for the 67th time of his professional career and makes his debut outside of North America. We'll hear from Canelo in just a minute. He's coming up here to join us as we look at the schedule this week, ladies and gentlemen. We've got a ton of stuff to cover. Tomorrow, the open media workout, that'll be at 9 p.m. local time. So too will be the press conference on Thursday, as all the fighters will be on the dais. Friday, it's the weigh-in. Remember, 168 pounds, that's the weight limit for Canelo versus Scull for the super middleweight undisputed championship. And then, of course, Saturday is Fight Night. Buy it today, live and exclusively around the globe on DAZN. How about that aerial shot as we're at Boulevard City here in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. They call New York the city that never sleeps, but I'll tell you what, Riyadh doesn't seem to sleep either, as here comes the man, Canelo Alvarez. I don't know when you're going to sleep. You're fighting at 6 in the morning. Are you going to wake up early or stay up late? How's that going to work?
No, I'm going to wake up early.
What time?
Yeah, 3 in the morning, 2 in the morning. I come here 3 weeks before because of that. I go to train at 4 in the morning and I go to sparring at that time, so I'm ready.
No, you mentioned on the video earlier, the process is what you still like about boxing. Your process for the last 10 years has been basically the same. You train in Southern California, you take a jet to Las Vegas, and you fight. Yeah. How different has this experience been? How different has the preparation been for this fight?
It's very different because, you know, at the beginning when I come here, it's very difficult. My body feels like a tire, you know, the time obviously hurts a little bit, but you know, the weather too is a little bit hard. But that's why I come 3 weeks before to adapt myself. And, you know, 5 days ago I start feeling like in home. So
that's why I like the process. This kind of process for me is I'm glad to be in this kind of process.
Saul, the Cuban style can be very difficult, very tricky. I mean, these are savvy fighters with a big amateur pedigree. How do you plan on stopping them, getting them to fight? Do you think you can get them to fight, or do you think you're going to have to chase them around? This is going to go for the distance.
You know, patience. I think it's just about patience. Be patient at the beginning of the fight, do my job, and just find the ways to go in and do my job. It's all about patience.
Y ganchos al hígado.
Yeah, all about in the body.
Well, I guess along those lines, it's been about 3 years since we've seen you collect a knockout. Everyone's wondering, can Canelo still knock guys out? You've beaten guys up, you've knocked them down, but you haven't put them out. Are you anxious at all to?
No, you know, you win the way you need to win, right? Sometimes you try so hard to knock out somebody, and it's even harder. And like Berlanga last fight, he tried to survive, and it's very difficult even more because they make the fight even more hard. But you know, I'm gonna do my job, and if the knockout comes, welcome.
What did you think of Berlanga throwing a parade for himself just for going 12 rounds with you? Did you see those videos?
Oh my God!
Driving down the interstate partying.
That's I don't want to talk shit about that, but you know, that's a little bit weird because when you lost, you don't need to celebrate, right? And they asking who did better than the other and all that stuff. But you know, I don't care about that.
Nowadays, it's a moral victory for a lot of these champions or a lot of these top contenders to go the distance for you.
Yeah.
Moral victory, but not a real victory to take the title from you.
That's a mediocre mind. That's what I think.
Mediocre mind.
You've got a guy on this card that was in your camp, and Jaime Munguia, who you beat last year. It's a huge fight for Jaime Munguia, coming off that loss to Bruno Surace. You've been training alongside him for this fight. Can you tell us what you've seen in him? How ready is he for this type of challenge?
What I see, obviously, we train in different times. Sometimes we train together, we help each other and everything. What I see, he's ready to take revenge on Saturday,
well,
for sure.
Canelo, how are you going to celebrate if you get the win? How are you going to celebrate Cinco de Mayo here in Saudi Arabia? What are you going to do?
Go out for breakfast, basically?
Take a breakfast with my family and then...
Non-alcoholic Coronas.
Yeah, zero. You know, we're going to find out a way with Mexicans, so...
Maybe we'll go hit Denny's together or something.
Yeah.
Thanks for swinging by. Canelo Alvarez, we'll see you tomorrow at the open workouts, ladies and gentlemen. He is the super middleweight champion of the world and looks to become undisputed yet again Saturday night against William Scull. Part of this massive doubleheader Friday and Saturday night. Of course, first up from Times Square, it's Fatal Fury. Garcia versus Romero also on the card. Devin Haney as well as Teofimo Lopez. And then it's what we're here for. Canelo Alvarez taking on William Scull as well as Jaime Munguia trying to get revenge against Bruno Surace. That fight is going to be off the charts as both men promise to get a knockout. Remember, you can keep up to date on all the events on offer by heading to the DAZN platform and going to the schedule section where you'll find all the live action, including some domestic dust-ups from the UK. Someone else wrote that. We would never say dust-ups.
I think you said duck stuff. Duck stuff?
Duck soup. I've had that. And look at all these fights you had to look forward to. June 28th, Jake Paul versus Chavez Jr.
I'm ready and I'm coming to take the title and nothing else.
I want to achieve my maximum. I want to do everything I can do, and being a two-weight world champion is my next step.
This is the Hurt Game.
Unbelievable season. This has got the recipe for fight of the year.
Work there from Kakachi.
Good shot from Lee Woods.
Watch this fight. This is going to be a standout fight this year.
So that will happen Saturday, May 10th. Anthony Kakache defending his IBO Super Featherweight World title against Lee Wood. May 24th, Josh Taylor makes his Queensbury debut. Moving to welterweight to face Eko Usman in Glasgow. And then we go around the world to Australia as IBF Cruiserweight champion Jai Opataya defends his title from the Gold Coast on June 8th. All part of 185 fight nights each year live on DAZN. All right, guys, before we go, big press conference earlier today, or maybe yesterday, I get the time messed up. But we do have Alexander Usyk defending his title against Daniel Dubois. That's going to be at Wembley Stadium in July. That fight is going to be big, and I think it's not going to be the same fight we saw when they squared off in Poland. This is a different Dubois now.
I think it's going to be very different. Daniel Dubois has grown in game and grown in confidence since that fight 2 years ago against Alexander Usyk. You look at his last 3 fights, against Filip Hrgović, against Anthony Joshua, against Jarrell Miller. You have seen his confidence grow every single time. And now he has another fight under his belt with trainer Don Charles, who's made a remarkable impact on the career of Daniel Dubois. He's got to get a little better at some of this stuff, some of the pre-fight antics. And we saw the call out in the ring. That was a little bit awkward. That push, a little bit uncomfortable. But Daniel Dubois is, I think, going into this fight in a lot better position to win than he was 2 years ago.
Dubois has momentum. He has confidence. Even if it's false confidence, he carries himself like a champion now. So you can bet that he's going to be aiming for the body. The body of Usyk is still suspect. I still think it wasn't a low blow. You can bet Triple D is going to keep going for that body, going for that knockout. And look, we know that Usyk, if he gets past those early rounds, he's a sniper. From that southpaw stance, he can pick you apart. It's going to be an explosive fight, but it's going to be a better fight.
I don't know if you heard this earlier today. Usyk was around Daniel Dubois' team, and they were chanting it. It was a low blow, and Usyk said, no, that's if you fight on the street. He goes, I'll tell you what, I'll pick myself and 3 guys, you pick 4 guys, and we'll go downtown London and fight on the street, and then we'll see who wins that.
Yeah, the reality of this punch was it was not a low blow. It was just below the belt line. You see how Alexander Usyk went down, and the way Louis Pabon, the referee, called it immediately as a low blow. Gave him an extensive amount of time, gave him the full 5 minutes to recover, but after that, it was all Alexander Usyk. Look, I love that Dubois is coming into this fight with the belief that he should have a knockout win over Alexander Usyk. I think it's going to make him mentally better than, hey, I lost every minute of this fight and was eventually knocked out by Usyk. So I love that he's got the mentality that I should have been awarded a knockout that time. Maybe it'll help him coming in with the confidence to win this time.
Who do you give the edge to?
Look, Usyk's still one of the greatest fighters ever. I mean, one of the greatest fighters in 25 years, so he has to be the favorite. He finds a way to break down these giants. I mean, he's been fighting giant after giant since 2019. So look, of course Usyk is a favorite, but Dubois already experienced him, already felt that power, felt the speed, the timing, that southpaw angle. Dubois is going to have a better chance.
I think one of the best awards you can win in boxing is the fighter of the decade. If Usyk beats Dubois, I know there's still 5 years left to go in this decade. Is he your fighter of the decade?
God, I'm going to say something and then somebody's going to fact check me on somebody else. But he'd have to be on a very, very, very short list. Let me just say that. To have 2 wins over Anthony Joshua, 2 wins over Tyson Fury, a win over Daniel Dubois. That's legacy-defining type of stuff. And, Alexander Usyk, his career may not be over. Says he wants to fight at least one more time after this. So, yeah, fighter of the half-decade, probably make it Alexander Usyk.
That's the easy one. All right, and we'll be back at it again, right back here in Riyadh tomorrow for the media workout. You'll see the guys hitting pads, moving around a little bit. Maybe we can get some insight as to what's going to go down Saturday night when Saul Canelo Alvarez faces William Scull for the undisputed super middleweight championship of the world. For Chris Mannix, Claudia Trejos, and Sergio Mora, I'm Todd Grisham. We'll see you right back here tomorrow night.
Live on DAZN Worldwide, Saturday, May 3rd, 7 p.m. Eastern, Canelo versus Scull. The King stakes his legacy once more for the undisputed crown. Standing in his way is Warrior Scull, undefeated and poised to decimate the division. On a knockout weekend of boxing. Get Canelo versus Scull, Saturday, May 3rd. Live exclusively on DAZN. Buy now at DAZN.com.
Yep.
All right, so we're just talking about the main event for 4 minutes, then I'm done.
Yeah.
What does give you a link mean? Okay, so when I start this, what do I say? This is. Okay, so it doesn't have a name. It's not like welcome to the fight preview or anything. Okay. Okay, fair enough. Do I look this red, or is this the monitor? Do I look red?
No, it's the monitor.
God, I look so red, don't I?
On the monitor you do, and
do I look? It's the monitor. All right.
After a week of golf, you're gonna look redder.
I look like I got a disease.
Well,
and I do, but it's not the. Okay.
Well.
I got so many things to say.
Well, I know you do. You're the one who probably gave it to me.
Gross.
Do you know Theo